All right, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles and elder bishops in the great millstone. And Shalom to the Akim out there preaching his word in truth and sincerity. This is Brother Shamar coming back with another lesson. And in this lesson, I want to speak on, things going on recently. As far as, I got the articles up and whatnot. But it's been, more so-called terrorist attacks and potential terrorist attacks getting ready to happen, around in different countries, as well as, more within America. Because, the one that happened not too long ago in DC, they said, in a video I did before on that, it was saying in that article how that it could be a lot more potential uh, attacks similar to that one, you know, not to the same extent, but, more terrorist attacks inside America, basically. All right. And these things aren't happening by coincidence. These things are intentional. These things are planned because the more so called attacks that happen basically means that it's going to be more, uh, you know, more stricter policies, more regulations, more, lockdowns, so to speak, out of what they deem for the safety of the people. And coincidentally, all this is starting to happen right before they start mandating the out here in America, before they start mandating the so-called real ID thing. All right, which is basically one more step closer to, you know, that the digital ID. Basically, it's hand in hand almost in a roundabout way. It's like pretty much one step away from being a digital, similar to digital ID, but same thing basically. All right, but nonetheless, you have all this happening around the same time with all these attacks happening. All right, showing you times we living in, man. Things can happen at any moment. You could just be out and about, like with this situation that happened. You know, it happened at the beach, a random spot where people would be the last thing that you expect something like that to happen. All right, and they're saying that this is Islamic. They back to pushing the Islamic State group, or always blaming them, somebody else for it. Like they've been doing with the other attackers that happened in DC. Same thing that's happening over in Australia. And then you don't really need to hear about this article. It basically tells what happened. All right. And then this one right here as well. Recently, you had they saying they stopped something, a potential attack from happening. Federal authorities arrest four suspected extremists in New Year's Eve bombing plot across Southern California. And it's basically saying, four alleged members of an extremist group who are suspected of planning coordinated bombing attacks on New Year's Eve across Southern California. The suspects were arrested last week, and they were suspected of preparing to test improvised explosive devices ahead of a planned bombings, according to federal criminal complaint filed Saturday. They are members of an offshoot of a pro-Palestine group dubbed the Turtle Island Liberation Front. The complaint said during a news conference Monday, First Assistant U.S. Attorney Bill Asalee described the group as a radical anti-government group. They each face charges, including conspiracy and possession of a destructive device, court documents show. The group alleged to have been plotting to set off a series of bombings at multiple targets in California beginning of New Year's Eve, and also planned to target immigration and customs enforcement agents and vehicles. Attorney General Pam Bondi said on social media. Officials said the four suspects were arrested near the desert city of 29 Palms. He said Saley said the four are all from the Los Angeles area. He said one of the suspects created a detailed plan to bomb five or more locations across Southern California on New Year's Eve. It included a step-by-step instructions to build IEDs, listed multiple targets across Orange County and Los Angeles. Evidence photos included in the court documents show a desert campsite with what investigators said were bomb making materials strewn across plastic folding tables. The suspects all brought bomb making components to the campsite, including various sizes of PVC pipes, suspected potassium nitrate, charcoal, charcoal powder, sulfur powder, and material to be used as fuses, among others. The complaint states. So it's showing you pretty much it's going to be a lot more false flags basically getting ready to happen going into next year. And you could, just because those four got caught, you could still have stuff happening in different parts of Babylon, on New Year's Eve as well. All right. You already had, like I said, the DC situation happened, showing you that it's going to be more other people already here in America plotting to do similar acts like this, if not, just mass shooting stuff. All right. But this is showing you the times that we in, man. Is that high time to, be circumspect, be in the spirit, and you know, be be careful, pretty much, man, because things can happen at any moment. Now, what did I have the Chrome open? Okay, yeah, yeah. Now, I want to get this in Ephesians 5, and I'm gonna start at 15. It says, "See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil." And that's right, man. And you read it in the NLT, it says, "So be careful how you live. Don't live like fools, but like those who are wise." And you shouldn't be living like fools. And how are fools living right now, man? All right. Look at the masses of the people in Babylon. Continue, like, just like in the days of Noah, like the scriptures say, man. Hey, these people in Babylon are living without a care in the world, going on about their day like nothing's happening, nothing's going on, going to the grocery stores, concerts, bars, clubs, you know, just continuing life as usual. And nobody, like the people I come across in the world that I may know, nobody's talking about any of the things like, that these things that I just read in the articles, as well as what I mentioned in DC. Nobody's paying attention to any fucking thing, honestly. You know, people in the world, they conversate of the things pertaining to the world. All right, they don't have a clue what's actually happening though, and a lot of things are going on, man. Hey, people not really in tune with what's going on across the world as well as within America, man. And that's why it's going to come as a thief in the night, as the scriptures say. And it says, "Wherefore," verse 17, "wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is." All right. And that's right, man. Like it says in verse 16, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. So make the most of every opportunity, like it's saying in the NLT, in these evil days. And how do you make the most of every opportunity? By doing, one thing, example is what I'm doing now, and being in the spirit as much as possible, man. Disconnecting from this world, not trying to uh, entangle yourself with this world. You want to be pulling yourself away from this world as much as possible, because this place is on its way out of here, man. And Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is just making it more and more evident as time goes on, and as things continue to happen within Babylon. All right. And like I said, the masses of the people, you never hear anyone really talking about what's going on pertaining to anything serious, or that matters. Basically, they're only talking about sports, folly, and entertainment, and all these things are distractions, man. All right, that Diddy documentary, that shit is a distraction. All right, as well as these Israelite groups that saying, getting on these podcasts with these debates, that's a fucking distraction, because they're not telling you about anything that's going on, nor anything pertaining to what's getting ready to come regarding prophecy, man. All right, because that's really what we supposed to be focused on right now, man. All right, matter of fact, I'm gonna jump to that too next, over here in Second Ezra 15. I start from the top. It says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord." And this is what we're supposed to be talking about, man. All right, because that's really the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. The spirit of Yahweh Shai is prophecy, the spirit of prophecy, man. And these other debaters, All right, dudes on these podcasts and whatnot, they're not going into prophecy, man. They're just talking, just psychobabble, basically. You sit there and watch that shit, and you just confused as hell at the end of the day. You didn't get nothing out of it. It's not preparing you or building you up in any type of way. It ain't doing nothing for you other than causing more confusion. All right. But this is what we're supposed to be doing, man. Like I said, speaking about prophecy, speaking about things getting ready to happen, man. Because the prophesies to say it before. All right. And the reason that we can say these things before they do take place is because, first and foremost, it's written in the scriptures of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. And it's his will. All right. This isn't something that we made up, some type of like these dudes, trying to make up new breakdowns, new doctrines. We sticking to the script, man. We telling it like it is because it's already been written before time, and it's written for our learning and for us to warn our people about before it comes. In verse 2 it says, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. And that's right, man. Everything that's written in the scriptures is faithful and true. Okay, because we understand that all these things have happened already regarding prophecy that's written in the scriptures, as well as future prophecy of things getting ready to happen in the future as well, man. Okay, so the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua are faithful and true. They stood the test of time, so to speak. Because everything that's written in there, that's happened already, it's written in the scriptures, and then everything is getting ready to happen is in the scriptures as well, man. That's how we know what to look out for regarding the signs, man, and regarding the prophecies, Well, like you go into an chapter 9 in Second Esdras. From the top it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass which I have told thee before. And how do you measure the time? Hey, the measuring stick is the scriptures, man. All right, that's how you measure the times that we in. And how are you measuring it? By filtering what's happening now, and through the scriptures, man. What pertaining to prophecy, like how do we know about the MOTB, the mark? All right, they getting ready to push that. World War III, civil unrest, nothing but pretty much like the scriptures say, man, famine, death, and destruction, pretty much. Those are all the things getting ready to come here in America. And you can see from what's going on, if you pay attention in the news, how all these things are on the way. And then on top of that, you can see how all these things are going to come as a thief in the night to everyone else because they aren't paying attention. All right. They literally just asleep, don't have a clue what's going on, and just like living in Disneyland pretty much. All right. Everybody worried about, going to the next function, so to speak, trying to turn up, drink, everything else just to escape reality. You work your 9 to 5, then you want to go out to the bar and drink, then you want to go out, try to go clubbing, then it's just repetitive cycle doing the same thing. So of course they're not gonna have a clue what's going on. They're not standing upon their watch, as the scriptures say, man. They're not looking out for what's coming. All right, they're just fixated on that small little box that they in, of they so-called life here in Babylon. But these are the things that we supposed to be focused on, man. Like it says in Ephesians, walking circumspectly, man. How do you walk circumspectly, man? By walking with wisdom. We know that these things are getting ready to happen. We understand the times that we're living in. The times are evil. So why would we move like a fool as the rest of the people in the world? All right. They're not worried about the things that are going on. All right. They're not looking out for prophecies, what's getting ready to come to pass. All right. They ain't worried about any of that. They're worried about trying to live it up here in Babylon, and the whole time while they focus on living it up in Babylon, it's on its way out of here, man. You could easily be caught up in a situation like what happened out there in Australia or DC, and Who fucking knows? It could be set up. It could be real. It could be fake. But at the end of the day, man, it's gonna be real bodies, getting dropped out here, man. Hey, all hell really getting ready to break loose. It ain't gonna be no AI fucking simulation. All right, the famine is really gonna hit. It ain't gonna be no fake ass video he created to play for you to scare you and make you think food is scarce. No, that shit gonna be real, man. All right, like the scriptures say, man. Woe is me, who was gonna deliver me in those days? It's gonna be real, and it's these all this stuff going on now is only just the beginning of it getting started. All right, and we already knew about these things through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai because it was written for us in the scriptures, man. This is how we're able to know the things getting ready to happen prior to them happening. Because Yahweh Shem Shai has supped with us in the Spirit to warn us of these things and give us the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding on these things to be able to warn our people. Because ain't nobody else out there doing that. Everybody else out there asleep. Like I said, caught up in the ways of the world. And them, being caught up in that broad path, as it says in Matthew. Hey, you want to follow that same lifestyle as everybody else here in America, living a so-called American dream, or trying to live your best life, YOLO, whatever the hell you want to, what saying you want to live by, that's a worldly saying. You're going to be caught up right along with everybody else in the world. Because Babylon is on his way out of here, man. All right. But continuing on, verse 3 is, verse 2. I'll read from the top again. In 2nd Ezra 2 and 9. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And like I said, this is just the beginning of it, man. The beginning of the judgments that Yahweh Shem Shai is beginning to put on the world, man. All right. These people, these judgments are real. All right. It ain't gonna be like in 2020 where you just seeing generic ass videos, people with like dummy bodies on beds and shit. Hey, this shit is about to hit the fan out here, man. And they're setting up these elites are just setting up the perfect storm before they ultimately roll on everybody, man. First and foremost, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as regular Babylonians, because it ain't gonna just be our people that they coming for. All right, they're coming for everyone. But we're here to warn our people. All right, not all nations. All right, because salvation isn't for all nations; it's only for Israel. Okay, and things is getting ready to hit the fan sooner than later. All right, that's why you gotta walk circumspectly, like the first scripture I had started off with, man. Because these things, the times that we living in, and these things that's getting ready to happen are deadly serious. It ain't a joke. All right, and it could literally happen like the snap of a finger. You could be, caught up in a situation. You on your way to a grocery store. You think it's a regular day. You shopping. Next thing you know, you hearing shots going off and everything. Hey, anything could fucking happen, man. That's the type of the times that we are living in. And that's why you gotta be prayed up, all right, and be in the spirit as much as possible, man. Don't just be out here walking around like a goofy. Be aware of your surroundings, be in the spirit. Don't put yourself in any situation where you're liable to be caught up in some bullshit. Handle your business, do what you gotta do, and go on about your way, man. Go back home. It's your safest bet, because being out there, man, the valley of darkness. Hey, judgment can be anywhere, just like in that movie Final Destination. Hey, shit can go down anywhere, the moment you leave the crib. That's why you gotta be prayed up and in the spirit, man, and walking circumspectly. All right, verse 3, it says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. And all these things were written before us, man, because the scriptures was written well before we were born. Okay. Nonetheless, everything that's written in scriptures is still uh, relevant to the times that we're living in, because this was future prophecies getting to happen in the future, man. All right, like it says in the Second Ezra 6 and 9, Esau's the end of the world, Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. That hasn't happened already, man. But you see, that's the times that we're living in, though, because he literally is bringing the end of the world, man. This devil want to make uh, babies with AI robots, not even have natural born children anymore. You want fucking robotic wombs, like some Matrix shit. You know, children being born like that. All right, that's the times that we living in where, hey, this devil got to be stopped, because he doing all type of madness, man. Nigga, a mad scientist. All right, and he ain't doing nothing. He ain't creating life. He creating death, different things to destroy everyone. All right, what the hell you want to do with having babies being born in a robotic artificial womb, not even through natural ways anymore, just so everybody can just be out here be freaks, you know, men with men, women with women, people transforming into the other, so you ain't even got to worry about kids. But that's the type of, you know, person that's in rulership right now, that got power, that want to do bugged out shit like that. Hey, and Most High getting ready to stop all of this, man. This is coming to an end. All right. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. And that's right, man. The end is being made manifest, man. We see all the signs right in front of us. It's clear as day to see it. If you have the spirit of awareness, the spirit of being circumspect, paying attention. Because in the modern days that we live in now, man, ain't nobody paying attention to shit. Like I'll be saying, you listen to the conversation of people in the world, I highly doubt you hear anybody talking about anything that's really going on, you know, as far as important things. All right, random terrorist attacks, uh, you know, politics, as far as World War III heating up, different little skirmishes happening in these different countries and shit, with America is being involved in, or you know, Israel. All right, all these people in the world speak of the world. Like I was saying, you want to talk about sports, movies, that whack ass documentary. No, I ain't watch it. I'm just saying it's whack because it's bullshit. You know, it's just a distraction. But that's all that everybody talks about, man. Sports, with the Super Bowl, football, basketball. You just caught up in the circus, man. The circus act. And then when that curtain drop on you and judgment's going on outside of it, you're gonna be bugged the hell out. And that's the masses of the people. You've been sitting here living in your fairy tale for so long that when all the hell starts breaking loose, man, hey, you're gonna be bugging the hell out. And only the ones who gonna be safe during that time are the ones who've been building that relationship with Yahweh Shem Shai and have that spiritual connection, man. While everybody else out here is caught up in that mess. All right. And like you're saying in, you know, Ephesians, man, that's why we gotta walk circumspectly, man. Because people think that it's peace and safety, like it's saying First Thessalonians. All right. As a matter of fact, I could. Yeah, I'll get that real quick. First Thessalonians 5:1. But the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. And that's right, man. All right. It's going to come as a thief in the night. And it says the times and seasons we have no need that we should, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. Because you should know the times that we living in, man. All right. You can tell when it's all cloudy and stuff, like it look like it's getting ready to rain. You can discern, you know, like the scriptures say, discern the you know, the day, as far as if it's gonna rain, be a good day or not with the weather. Hey, you should be able to discern the times that we in, pertaining to what's going on, man. A lot of things are happening. This whole year, a lot didn't happen in this 1 year. So how much more? And this year pretty much over with now, in the last month. So how much more is going to happen in the year to come next? Things are only getting more intense, man. It ain't. Things aren't lightening up. Things are getting more intense, man. The cost of shit going up. All right, you got the cost of shit out here going up. I'm pretty sure it's everywhere else, but I can only speak about where I live at because that's what I see. Nonetheless, hey, things are only going to continue to get worse for you people, man. All right, people been barely getting by, people been suffering and whatnot. Hey, man, things are more hell is only going to come upon you people, man, because this place is on its way out of here. All right, and we don't have to worry about none of these things because Lord's will, we're going to be good, man. The men, the true believers of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, all right, the men that believe, as well as the few women, and just being in the spirit, man. That's what's going to protect us. All right. Because all we're going to have in that time, like it says in Isaiah 33:6, that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding shall be the stability of thy times, man. That's what's going to keep us stable because when all hell breaks loose, these people are just going to be running around like a chicken with his head cut off, not knowing what to do next, not knowing what's going on. Never even knew something like that could ever happen, that day was ever going to come. And first thing they're going to do is do exactly what the scriptures tell you not to do. Never trust thine enemy. And that's exactly who you're going to trust. When all hell breaks loose, it shows you in all these movies. Whenever it's a apocalyptic situation or a terrorist attack, whatever the case may be, who shows up? Esau with his army, and then the people over there trusting in him, following him. Come over here for safety. We gonna protect you. And this nigga like you in a cage or something. Section you off. Now he giving you rations, telling you what to do and what not to do. Just putting even more hell on you people, man. Putting you in slavery ultimately. Hey, a lot of hell is coming to you Babylonians, man, as well as you niggas that's not right. All right, because two-thirds of our people, man, they ain't right, and you're gonna get caught up in all this stuff getting ready to happen, rightfully so, man. Okay. Now I'm gonna finish this off. 1 Thessalonians 5:1. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And that's right, man. All right, because all these things getting ready to happen. Don't forget, it's called the day of Jacob's trouble. So all these things getting ready to happen. All right, it's ultimately to punish our people. Because Esau is the Most High's whipping stick, and it's called the day of Jacob's trouble. So when they've been telling you, peace and safety, everything's gonna be good, just wait until a major attack happens, and they gotta lock shit down more. You got all type of different little attacks happening all over Babylon, and whatever the hell is gonna be with the scenario, watch this devil just pop up out the woodwork, telling you how he gonna solve everything, give you safety and peace. Come over here. We're gonna watch everyone. You gotta just take this mark. You're gonna have a safe little section over here. We know everybody who they are, what they're doing. So there's no way that we can have any random people attacking or doing anything. Hey man, he's just gonna keep on pushing more and more hell on you people, man. All right. And at the end of the day, this place is on its way out of here, man. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is speeding up the time for the elect's sake, as well as speeding up these prophecies, man. Because there's only a few of them left to happen. And we can see that they right around the doorstep. All right. Hey, so with that, I'm going to wrap up and give our praises and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors again to our apostles and elders and elder bishops from Great Millstone. And Shalom to the Akim out there, preaching this word in truth and sincerity. Shalom.